Without these 3 hacks, my first $100,000 would still be rotting in a high-yield account, quietly losing money every single year. Instead, that same 100K became the seed of my first million. And the scary part? Most men who touch 100K stay broke for the rest of their lives. Charlie Munger, billionaire partner of Warren Buffett, said the first $100,000 is a bitch. He didn't say it's hard. He didn't say it takes discipline. He said it's a bitch. Because those first 6 figures cost blood. They cost years of saying no while everyone else says yes. They cost silence, sacrifice, and living in places you hate just to stack one more dollar.
But there's something Munger didn't tell you. Everyone thinks $100,000 is the finish line, the moment you're finally safe. I'm here to show you the fatal flaw in that thinking.
Reaching $100,000 is not the summit. It's the door to a place I call the death zone. The golden cage where 90% of ambitious men get locked for the next 20 years.
In this video, I'm going to open my own financial case file, show you the exact moment I almost deleted my 100K in one stupid decision,
And hand you a 3-part protocol: the shield, the sword, and the velocity switch that turns your first 100K from a shiny shackle into a weapon.
Stay with me until the end, because hack number 3, the velocity switch, is the kill switch. If you skip it, you'll misuse the first 2 hacks, you'll keep doing everything right, and you stay broke.
Let's open the file. And on this channel, we don't just motivate you. We debug your financial operating system like ruthless capitalists. Before I dissect my mistakes, welcome to Digital Dollar Wallet. This is not a get-rich-quick channel, and it's not a generic finance channel either. This is a capitalist optimization channel.
Here we do 3 things. We decode financial errors most men don't even know they're making. We turn them into brutal, practical hacks, psychological, financial, and investment-based.
And we weaponize those hacks so you can live like a deliberate capitalist, not an accidental consumer.
If you're a man between 24 and 45 and you feel that something is off in your money system, but you can't quite name it, hit subscribe right now. This channel exists to debug your financial operating system and install something worthy of the life you actually want. Now let's go inside the death zone, because that's where your biggest bugs live. Quick warning: do not skip around this video. This isn't a list of random tips. It's surgery.
If you jump straight to hack number 3 without the psychological armor of hack number 1 and hack number 2, you will blow up your account and swear the market is rigged.
In a few minutes, I'm going to show you the exact night I almost signed a luxury lease that would have killed my future self. But first, you need to understand how you get trapped in the death zone at all.
Let's rewind. Before founder, investor, any of that. I was just a grinder with a cheap laptop and a chip on my shoulder.
Tiny apartment, beige walls, secondhand desk. The fan in my laptop sounded like a jet engine.
My friends were sending me videos from Vegas, Miami, rooftop bars, bottles, lights, girls. I was there with cold chicken and rice, a spreadsheet glowing in the dark, and one thought pounding in my skull. I am never going to be poor again. That was the night I locked into monk mode. I stopped going out. I stopped buying new clothes. I stopped taking dating seriously. Every dollar had a mission. Every hour had a purpose.
Friday night, they're shouting over music. I'm watching finance lectures at 1.5x speed, building money systems that made 0 sense to anyone but me.
Saturday morning, they're sleeping off the hangover. I'm sending cold emails, learning high-value skills, and tracking my net worth like a psycho.
It felt like trying to climb a glass skyscraper with my fingernails. Family said I was obsessed.
A coworker told me, "Dude, you're wasting your 20s. Live a little." Maybe they were right, but what they didn't understand is that I wasn't chasing pleasure. I was trying to escape a life sentence, and after years of that, it finally happened. One random Tuesday, I opened my banking app. Same boring login, same boring colors. But the number is different. $100,000.42. I freeze. I stare at it for 20 minutes. I take a screenshot. I zoom in like it's a rare painting.
For the first time in my life, my nervous system relaxes. I made it. I'm safe. If everything explodes, at least I have this. It felt like stepping out of a storm into a warm hotel lobby. But that wasn't freedom. That was the moment the trap snapped shut. Because that screenshot didn't just give me relief, it awakened something else.
When you have nothing to lose. You're dangerous, you're scrappy. You'll test things, you'll take swings.
But when you have $100,000 that took you years of sacrifice to save, you become fragile. I developed what I call the dragon syndrome. Picture an old cartoon villain sitting on top of a mountain of gold in a dark cave. He doesn't lead, he doesn't fly, he doesn't conquer.
He just sits, terrified someone will take his gold. That was me.
What if the market crashes? What if I make a bad trade? What if there's an emergency? What if I never get this money back? Here's the first fatal flaw most people hit at 100K. You stop treating money like a soldier and start treating it like a trophy.
So what did I do? Exactly what the system wants you to do. I parked it.
High-yield savings accounts. Boring index funds I barely understood. Anything that felt stable and adult.
I told myself I was being responsible. But here's what was really happening. For the next 2 years, my net worth barely moved. Inflation, the silent tax, chewed 5 to 7% of my purchasing power every year. Taxes took chunks out of every paycheck. My salary crawled upward, but life got more expensive. I was working just as hard, but I was running on a financial treadmill. That's the death zone. Too successful to be broke. Too scared to become rich. And if you don't fix it, you spend the next decade defending your little pile of gold instead of building an empire. To escape, I didn't need a new app. I needed a new operating system. I had to rewrite my identity from saver to capitalist.
And that starts with the first hack. The first bug we're going to debug is deadly simple. Thinking being safe means sitting in cash and low-yield assets while inflation bleeds you out in slow motion.
To kill that bug, I needed a structure that made me almost unkillable. That's hack number 1. Hack number 1, the barbell strategy. The realization hitting me was brutal. Being safe in the middle is the most dangerous place you can be. If you sit in the middle, half-committed investments, all your wealth in safe products, everything's slow, boring, responsible. You are guaranteed to lose to inflation over time. You don't notice it month to month, but every year a little more of your life quietly evaporates.
I wasn't going to YOLO my life savings into some coin. I'd suffer too much for that stack.
I needed a structure where Most of my capital could not die, and a small part of it could go crazy. That's when I discovered a concept from Nassim Taleb, the barbell strategy.
Imagine a barbell. In the center, nothing. On the ends, pure mass. That's your portfolio.
We split your money into two extremes. The shield, 90%. The sword, 10%. Nothing in the fragile middle. The shield, 90%. First, I built the shield. Roughly 90% of my capital went into things I considered as close to unkillable as I can reasonably get. Think short-duration government-backed instruments. Boring, conservative holdings with real backing and high liquidity. Cash buffers where necessary. This money is like a concrete floor under your life. It's not flashy, it's not exciting. Its job is to say, no matter what happens, you don't go back to zero. This is the money that lets you sleep. But the shield alone doesn't get you free. If all you have is a floor, you're just safe and stuck. That's where the sword comes in. The sword, 10%. Then I carved out 10%, about $10,000 at the time. This is the money I gave permission to go insane. Not reckless, not random, but aggressively asymmetric. I wasn't hunting 8 to 10% annual returns. I was hunting 5x, 10x, 20x opportunities.
A small war chest whose job is simple. If this hits, it changes everything.
Now here's the math that killed my fear. 90% shield equals $90,000. Let's say it yields 4 to 6% per year, to about $4,000 to $5,000 a year.
10% sword equals $10,000. If I completely blow up the sword, I lose every single dollar in that 10% bucket. The shield quietly rebuilds it in roughly 2 years of yield.
Even if I kill my sword, my shield resurrects it. I cannot go broke. The system self-heals.
But if that 10% ever hits a 5x or 10x, now we're talking about 40K, 80K, 100K of upside, and my entire net worth jumps.
This is how a deliberate capitalist structures risk. You don't hide from it. You put it in a cage where it can't eat you.
We just debugged the first bug, safety in the middle. But the barbell strategy has a dark side. Because once you're protected, another bug creeps in. You start to feel rich. And that's even more dangerous. Hack number 1 fixes fear, but it unlocks a new enemy, the feeling rich bug. This is one of the nastiest glitches in your middle-class operating system. As soon as your numbers go up, your brain quietly upgrades your lifestyle and destroys your future.
Let me show you how that almost happened to me, and how hack number 2 saved me from signing a contract that would have turned my 100K into a golden prison.
Hack number 2, artificial scarcity. When you first see 100K, 150K, 200K in your accounts, your walk changes. You drive past the BMW dealership and think, if I really wanted to, I could pay cash for that. You look at restaurant menus and stop checking prices.
You start scrolling luxury apartments just to see what's out there. That's not wealth. That's the wealth effect.
A psychological bug that tricks you into spending tomorrow's freedom on today's ego. For me, it all came to a head one night. I was sitting at a nice desk in a nice office, looking at a luxury downtown lease. The numbers kind of worked. Pen in hand, ready to sign.
And this thought hit me. If I sign this, I'm not buying an apartment. I'm buying a new minimum standard I have to defend every month.
I put the pen down. That night, I created what I now call the time lock protocol. Here's how it works. I opened a brokerage account and mentally labeled it the vault. Every dollar of profit from my shield and sword, every bonus, every side income, straight into the vault. I don't touch the vault until it hits $500,000. No dipping in for little rewards. No, I'll just borrow and put it back. Locked. Meanwhile, my living budget stayed almost exactly the same as when I was a nobody. Same car, same basic clothes, same 3 to 4K per month lifestyle. From the outside, I looked average. Some people thought I was behind. Inside the accounts, my assets were compounding like a snowball rolling down a golden mountain.
This is what I call phantom liquidity. You're rich on paper, but broke in cash. And that's a feature, not a bug. Because it keeps you hungry. It keeps monk mode alive long after other guys have given up and rewarded themselves into stagnation.
If you start eating your compound interest before it matures, you're not enjoying life. You're eating your financial children.
We just debugged the second bug. I feel rich, so I spend rich. Now I want to see if you're one of the rare few who actually has the discipline to run this protocol. Be brutally honest. Could you have $100,000 sitting in accounts and still drive a 10-year-old Toyota? Still live in a basic apartment?
Still say no to lifestyle upgrades until your assets hit $500,000? If your answer is yes, type monk mode in the comments. That tells me two things. You made it this far in the video. You're the kind of savage this channel is built for. Now, we fixed the fear bug, we fixed the feeling rich bug, but there's a third bug that's even deeper.
You're still thinking like a worker, not like a capitalist. That's where the final hack comes in. Hack number 3, the velocity switch. We've debugged 2 core glitches, safety in the middle, feeling rich. Now we hit the kill switch, thinking in dollars instead of percentages, living like a laborer instead of a capital allocator.
This is hack number 3, the velocity switch. Up until 100K, your life has been powered by labor. You trade hours for money. You save what's left at the end of the month.
That's how most men survive. The problem? Labor is linear. There are only 24 hours in a day. Your boss decides your ceiling. Your energy sets the limit. Once you hit 100K, that game is over. If you keep playing it, you stay broke, just a better dressed version. You must stop working for sums and start working for percentages. Enter the rule of 72.
Here's how it works. Take the number 72, divide it by your annual rate of return, and you get a rough estimate of how many years it takes for your money to double.
Let's put 2 lives side by side. Life A, the laborer. You keep doing what you were told. Work your job, save $1,000 a month. That's $12,000 a year.
To stack another 100K? That's about 8 years of your life. 8 years of saying no. 8 years of stress and discipline. To add what you already have?
Life B, the capitalist. You take that 100K and you focus obsessively on one thing, raising your average annual return.
Not with lottery tickets, but with a mix of skill-based, high-margin income, consulting, business, leverage skills, and intelligent, risk-managed investments. Let's say you can consistently hit around 15% per year. Rule of 72. 72 divided by 15 is approximately 4.8 years.
Your 100K doubles to 200K in under 5 years, without adding a single extra dollar from your salary, without working 1 extra hour at your job.
That's the velocity switch. Capital starts to move faster than your labor. At this level, Your main job is no longer your career. Your main job is capital allocation.
Every 1 to 2% you add to your average return, that's thousands, sometimes tens of thousands of dollars compounding every year.
A 20% year on a 100K portfolio is $20,000. That's not a side hustle. That's your money soldiers marching all night while you sleep.
This is how a deliberate capitalist thinks. How can I increase my velocity? How can I protect the downside without killing the upside? How can I get my capital working harder than I ever could? So here's the real question. Are you still a laborer, or are you a capital allocator? The day you truly internalize that your money can work harder than you ever could is the day you start to become free. If you're done thinking like an employee and you're ready to think like a capitalist optimizer, type capital in the comments. That is your line in the sand.
Let's wrap this up. Reaching $100,000 is a huge achievement. If you're already there or getting close, I respect the grind.
But do not let that number be your peak. That's the 100K fatal flaw. You treat the first 100K like a trophy. You park it in safe products.
You upgrade your lifestyle a little, and then you defend that tiny hill for the next 2 decades. That's the death zone.
I spent 2 years stuck there, frozen by fear, watching friends flex stupid purchases for Instagram, while my net worth flatlined. Don't be me. Skip the stagnation. Use the barbell strategy to become unkillable. Use artificial scarcity to stay hungry. Use the velocity switch to let math and time do what your salary never could.
You are not middle class. You are a pre-rich asset manager. Start acting like it. And remember, on this channel, the mission is simple. Turn confused consumers into cold, clear capitalist optimizers.
There's one last loose end. Think back to hack number 1, the barbell. The 90% shield is your floor. That's relatively simple.
But the real acceleration, the difference between comfortable and free, comes from how you use the 10% sword. That risk bucket has to work insanely hard.
If you throw it into random meme coins, hype stocks, or whatever TikTok is screaming about, you're not taking risk. You're walking into a casino as a drunk tourist.
You need to enter the market like a gambler, but get paid like the house. That's why I built something I call the casino strategy. It's the exact system I use for my risk capital. I don't play the games, I own the table.
In that video, I'll show you how I structure high upside bets around my shield, the filters I use to instantly kill 95% of opportunities, and how to aim for 5 to 10x outcomes without blowing yourself up. If your sword is ready, you need to learn how to swing it without cutting your own head off.
Click here to watch the casino strategy. Don't leave your soldiers on the bench. Cheers.